Hello. How to accept yourself? Um, I think like yesterday I made a video about feeling satisfied with yourself, and I said that I actually feel satisfied with myself when I know that I did everything I could, that I faced my fears, that I was brave, basically. But I also think that it's important to accept yourself, and accept your fears, if even if like you don't have the balls to face them, for example. So sometimes there's things in our lives that we don't do good, like there's a lot of moments where we fail, quote and quote unquote. And I think that it's important to change that, but it's also important to accept that it's a part of ourselves to 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 be fearful too, and just to accept these fears, and also to accept failure. Like if you fear something and you don't do it for a certain amount of time, you shouldn't feel bad about it. So you should do everything in your power to face that thing, I think. But it's also important to accept that the fear is just so high that it crushes you, and it's sometimes um, it's just really hard, so you don't do it in the end. And I think that a very important thing is to accept that you're not always going to be brave and do the right thing. And this also takes it's also super important because it takes just so much. It's the a part that's not easy either, because you have to love yourself even though you're imperfect. So the part about being brave and facing your fears, it's it's hard at the beginning because you have to do it, but it's easy to love yourself afterwards. But if you don't face your fears, it's easy in the first place, sort of, because you don't face your fear. But then it's hard to love yourself because you didn't um, fulfill the condition in to love yourself. So if then you can still accept yourself, accept your fears, and love yourself, it's really good. Like that's where the hard part comes in, and that's a part where I struggle with, to accept all my flaws, because um, I think personal development is super important. That actually, I think that transformation and expansion and change is the rule, and that stagnation is the exception in a healthy life. So I think it's normal to change, but I think it's also not a good thing actually to accept that everything that didn't change yet is still there, and that you don't need to wait to change stuff in order to accept yourself. And yeah. Yeah, I think that's an important part that I didn't say yesterday. In order to feel fulfilled, I think it's good to do these outer things that you're scared of. They're necessary because they just make you feel good about yourself. And I think that when we don't do something because we're fearful, and if we could actually do them, it's we should. But it's also important to just love yourself, even though there's a lot of things that you um, where you fucked up with. So just I don't know how to what's the conclusion of this, but um, it's basically doing your best. And when your best is not what you really thought it would be, then accept it, because it's already in the past and there's no point just dragging it with you. Thank you.